At the heart of any battlefield game, even any first-person shooter, lies the infantry experience. Gun mechanics, weapon performance and functionality, the details to it, as well as of course class balance and the wider system as such. If that's not solid, ultimately the game won't be successful. That's the basics, even with Battlefield 5, despite the importance of vehicles in the Battlefield series. I think most would agree, in the end what matters most, although not exclusively, is infantry combat. And those are essentially the elements I want to talk about in today's video. Cover a little bit of the positives and still some negatives around gun mechanics. Talk a little bit again about attrition in a little bit more detail. Just quickly mention visibility just for the sake of completion. And then go into class balance and weapon division between those classes. Because there's still some work to be done. Although unlike some other parts of the game, by no means are we talking here of a complete failure on DICE's part. At least as of now. That's not to say that much doesn't need to be changed or could be changed for the better. So let's start off with a generally positive topic, and that's gun mechanics. Be that the introduction of higher recoil as a way to balance weapons and limit them in range effectiveness instead of the awful spread models that we had in Battlefield 1. Great change. Be that the rapid and drastic reduction of suppression and the effect it has in your everyday Battlefield experience. Massive improvement. Be it the from launch, good and fast time to kill, great thing. The one thing I'm still critical and just somewhat confused about at this point is the insta-kills that you get. Sometimes you really just instantly die with 100% health to a weapon that should require 4 shots at least to take you down. And I don't know if it's a netcode issue, I don't know if it's an issue with headshot multipliers that because of the reduced spread you can now more successfully double or triple dome somebody, and thus your actual real life time to kill when headshotting is much faster than in previous games because you couldn't actually successfully consecutively at certain ranges headshot people in say Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 1. I don't know what it really is. Frankly, I don't care. I just want to stop getting insta-gibbed. I want to have a chance to react to somebody who really shouldn't be just instantly killing. Whatever the cause of it, I hope DICE finds it and can address it, because it is one of the more frustrating ways to die. It's why people hate snipers so much, because they insta-kill them with a headshot. But I don't need also assaults and medics and supports now also insta-killing me, because snipers are more than enough for me to be salty as is. So let's touch on attrition then, a topic I did mention in my first video on the beta so far, but needs going into a little bit more detail. In brief, the health can be explained as, if it has to be, it's fine the way it is right now. With the introduction of being able to carry around a medic patch, I don't find myself too inhibited by the system anymore. I have to take considerations, I have to constantly be searching for health, but it's not at the point where I feel like I'm gonna actually stop playing the game after 20 hours because I'm so fed up of the medics who never, ever give anybody any health when they need it. That being said, who knows? The health situation with medics being a little bit more generous may improve over time. My money isn't necessarily on that, however. What is a little bit more frustrating is the ammunition situation, because you can't carry a spare set of ammunition essentially. That wouldn't make sense, and you may as well just be carrying more ammo, which is not obviously the case. While it's not so bad on Conquest, because on Conquest, you capture a point, you stock up on ammo and health, you move on to the next point, you take that point, usually with little to minimal resistance, and you stock up again. It's only when you get into a proper elongated battle, where stalemates across, say, a choke point, where you start running out of ammo. And there's a fair argument to be made. You kind of should just be flanking, and in addition to that, if you're at a choke point, the chance that somebody ends up dropping ammo is higher than if you're just dynamically moving through the map. So far, so good. But as Dan Minigun correctly pointed out on one of the comments on my video regarding the general performance of the beta so far, that changes if you start playing Grand Operations, or generally a game mode where you end up trying to push forward onto an objective, a single or maybe even 2 objectives, for a long period of time, for 10 minutes. Because the problem you have there is the imbalance between a team usually sitting on objective with automatic health and ammo, furthermore the team being very concentrated there, thus the chance that somebody actually drops ammo is actually quite high. The resultant situation is they have unlimited ammo and unlimited health, unlike the attacking team, which to be successful takes flanking routes, which to be successful is far more spread out, has to be more spread out to be able to take, in the case of Grand Operations, 2 points at the same time as soon as you get through the first airborne assault stage, which is in its current state, not that enjoyable because you just end up getting shot as soon as you land with your parachute. Well, you've got a disadvantage there. They don't have the same, I'd say, restriction-free access to ammo. If they want extra ammo and their team is not supporting them and the few teammates they have around them aren't playing support, usually the case, then you end up having to go somewhere to get ammo. You lose the pressure on the front lines. As I already pointed out in some of my alpha videos, this leads to an imbalance between the attacking and defending team. You can't put the same pressure on the front line that you have to as attacking team if half of your team is constantly running back to get ammo. Now you could say, well, get good, get those support players to drop ammo, but let's be realistic. Battlefield players, especially the support and medics, are selfish when it comes to giving out health. They don't frankly care whether or not their team needs it or not, and consequently, you're not going to change their behavior unless you come up with some very creative, I don't know, points-driven incentive that really forces players which play support to actually engage in the team play practices they should be. So either increase the starting ammo there, massively increase the frequency of ammo depots on the way to objectives on more frontline driven game modes such as, well, frontlines once it comes out, but more importantly for now, grand operations, especially in the second stages, or find some other creative solution, because as it stands now, it's a hindrance to the individual performance, it's a hindrance to the balance of the game mode, and frankly, it's an annoying nuisance which will, well, decrease the amount of fun people are going to have with this game for the sake of you being able to claim you've made a more competitive or more realistic game, which frankly, nobody cares about anyway. So before moving on to the final large topic, and that is of course the class balance and weapon division between those classes, just quickly to touch on it, because I need to make sure to keep my line consistent here, visibility needs to be addressed. It's a problem. I find it difficult, and I've seen many people complain about it in the community, to actually spot enemies at long, medium ranges, even sometimes in close ranges in darker situations, especially when looking through your RDS sight, which is for some stupid reason darkened for balance purposes. It just makes for a nuisance. Everybody's still going to use them, but it's just going to piss everybody off while using them. So do something about your visibility. It's great you've gotten rid of 3D spotting. It's great that you've got rid of kind of the constant presence of everybody on the minimap. That has some positive side effects. That's cool, but you somewhat have to address the negative side effects as well. Or once again, you're going to be causing unnecessary frustrations. And I'm going to be honest, that is the main driver of frustration so far with the Battlefield beta for me personally. The amount of times I get killed from places where I've been looking straight at that place, I just can't see them. I even see a shot coming from that place. I still can't make out the player who's supposedly there. I may be at an engagement distance with a weapon where I can actually do something about it. No, I can either let myself die or run for cover, in which case sometimes I still die because I can't get to cover fast enough. Frustrating, unnecessary, do something about it. Most of the community agrees. Therefore then, on to the last topic, the division of weapons. From the alpha to the beta, they made a major change. They left assault rifles with the assault class, but they shifted the DMR, or dedicated marksman rifles, or the self-loading rifles, given that we're talking about a World War II game, to the assault class, and shifted the SMGs from the assault to the medic class. And this initially seems logical, right? Medics should be on the front lines, healing up players, reviving players. They need weapons which are capable for close quarters. That's why it makes sense. You're wrong. You're not wrong that medics should be on the front lines. You're wrong, however, as a user on the Battlefield forums correctly pointed out, in assuming that the front lines is only in close quarters. That's wrong. If you're pushing from an objective, you take fire from all engagement distance. For a matter of fact, because of the nature of class balance, you have classes specializing in medium, long, and close encounter combat. You have people dying and engaging players at all ranges. That's why you need a medic which is capable of providing the team play services that the team needs at, well, not quite all engagement distances, but as wide of a range of engagement distances as possible. That's why these self-loading rifles, as they were in Battlefield 1 called, make sense as medic weapons. I have no problem with the assault rifles staying with the assault class. I have no problem with the shotguns going over to the support class. I haven't tested that out in detail yet. I haven't unlocked the shotguns yet for the support, but it seems like a completely fine addition. It makes the support far more versatile. I'm absolutely okay with that, and I don't think the assault class is going to have a lack of fan followers given its anti-tank capabilities and the all-powerful reintroduction of assault rifles. But the DMRs, or some form of versatile weaponry, is most definitely needed for the medic class. I'm a medic main in Battlefield 1, and I'm a medic main not only because I'm most effective for my team, but because I can use some of the best medium and versatile guns in the game. The Zeb's Ladder 1906, the autoloading 835, and even the weapons which are more focused on a certain engagement distance within the medic class of weapon. Let's take the autoloading 825 or the Zeb's Ladder 1907, more close quarter driven weapons. Those weapons still have a far larger, capable, while not ideal, engagement distance compared to, let's say, the SMGs. And I see a major problem with not only the amount of players playing medic, with the exclusively only SMGs available to them, but also their usefulness for the team. Because the most risky revives, especially given the time it takes to now revive players, are in close quarters. Those are the revives that you are least likely, at least from a safety perspective, to get in Battlefield 5. Now, if you're forcing all medics to be in those engagement distances, they're not just going to suddenly suicide revive everybody just for the sake of it because they have to be in close quarters. No, they simply will no longer revive people. A medic shouldn't revive somebody if they're going to die themselves. That's just wasted tickets, that's wasted time. You revive who you can. Thus, I am very much in favor of reversing the decision to give the DMR, the self-loading rifles, to the assault class. Give them back to the medic class, frankly. We need a versatile, active, capable medic player, or God forbid, nobody's going to be getting revives and health in this game. It's already tough enough. It's already more difficult than in previous Battlefield games, given the changes to the amount of time it takes to revive, given the changes to the way health works, for example, with the large medic crate. That being said, that analysis of the infantry experience, it's not all bad, it's not all good, as I said at the beginning of the video. But I'd love to know what you guys think of the beta so far, specifically pertaining to that infantry experience. So leave that, as well as, of course, your usual video suggestions down below in the comments, or hit me up with them on Twitter. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. But with all that being said, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you in the next Battlefield 5 video.